One of the other inmates that was let out of his cell, a white inmate named Alan Mancino, claimed that the Aryan Brotherhood wanted him to kill Jackson, but he wanted no part of it. Instead, he shot Jackson a kite and gave him a heads up as to what was going on. Mancino believes that this is why his life was spared after the carnage began.
According to Alan Mancino, prison guards took him to a secret meeting. They believed Mancino was an assassin for the Aryan Brotherhood.
They wanted me to take out George Jackson. They was going to open the cell up and open his cell up at the same time. They didn't want me to take him out. So I got word down to Jackson. That's the first time I've never really talked to him, never associated with him. I shot him a kite. I told him what was going on in the watching cell, that I wasn't going to do it.
Getting stabbed, and we were stabbing, or they put us out on the wrong yard. We had to fight or do whatever we have to do. They were betting on fights and things such as this. It was right around the time, I'd say 5 years after George Jackson was killed, or found him. I suggest you guys look it up. Look up George Jackson, the death of George Jackson. George Lester Jackson. Look up the death of Hugo Pennell. Look up the life of Geronimo Pratt in the San Quentin Six. These are the founders, I swear, that have shed their blood for us to be able to walk these main lines today.
There was a situation where you stabbed 16 members of the Black Guerrilla family in one day?
Yeah, that was a one-day altercation, but there was a lot that led up to that. I'd been in a head-up knife fight with Yogi Pennell after I declined his offer to join the Black Panthers. And I defeated him. Declined his offer to join the Black Panthers. Declined his offer to join the Black Panthers.
It's hard, but I'm still trying to fight this old image that the CDC and FBI painted when I first came into prison. Which is image of a violent person who commands any number of black prisoners to do anything that I would want them to do. Yeah, I even discovered after I filed my federal suit to get out of the hole that the CDC was actually disseminating manuals, and within the manuals they had me and my picture and everything in there, and had me as the leader of all kind of gangs. Now, the gangs, by me being in the hole, I was real ignorant to a lot of things. I'm only hearing things, second-hand, third-hand information. The information was not that great while doing those years in the hole. So that made it easy for the administration to make me what they wanted, because I wasn't there to refute that. I'm in the hole, I can't go anywhere. But I found after I was able to research it more thoroughly that the majority of these so-called gangs were created by the CDC or the FBI themselves that didn't really exist. Now they had to do this as a prerequisite or something that they needed in order to justify their existence. In other words, if you didn't have gangs, you would have no need for a gang squad of, law enforcement agents. Okay, so when these formations began to disappear after the George Jackson was murdered, and after that whole period, all these SWAT teams, all these law enforcement formations had no reason for existence. So they had to create these things, I've asked a lot of brothers, I've asked brothers on top of brothers, how did the BGF start? I have never gotten one answer from that. Everybody said, man, I don't know. I heard it from here and I heard it from there, So it's a whole another situation that really should be investigated and studied by an independent group. I'm not talking about me or by no former president, by an independent group to really check into this. And I'm sure there'll be some stalling.
Chapter 49, El Oil Palmas. Sometime around December 2010, I was scheduled to testify in a high-profile multi-murder gang trial dubbed the Palmas trial. The district attorney prosecuting the case asked if he thought I might be interested in being used as an expert witness. I wasn't too thrilled about the idea of testifying in any more cases than were already stipulated in my plea agreement. But at the same time, I also knew that a case like this would be an opportunity for me to get more consideration.
Five. NF dues. Sergeant Lewis acknowledged that he had not encountered a regiment bank containing large amounts of money. However, he testified that it's all about money. That's really what it all comes down to when you're talking about NF. In the end, it's all about money and how they go about it. And then at the end, they send money. In theory, they send money to incarcerated members, and they carry out directives coming from inside of the institution. He explained that regiment members in theory had to pay the regiment monthly dues of $200. What you just heard is a segment from Sergeant Lewis's testimony in People vs. Lorenzo Guzman. Sergeant Lewis is one of Boxer Mendoza's law enforcement handlers. Sergeant Lewis testified the Nuestra Familia street tax is a theory, not a proven fact. Boxer Mendoza can easily refute or discredit the outlaw as a conspiracy theorist by simply proving he Boxer testified against actual NF leaders, not as a gang expert, or by showing evidence that in fact there is illegal money sent to incarcerated NF leaders. This video not intended to come off as trolling, clout chasing, hating, or to encourage anyone to harass and stalk any snitch influencer on YouTube. It's a warning to help prevent a new generation of individuals from being brainwashed by a new age social media American meme, the YouTube prison influencer genre. They're referred to as, and known as, prison influencers, not anti-prison influencers. Need I say more? Please like today's video, drop a comment, and do not forget to sub to The Outlaw, and become a YouTube outlaw against snitch culture conformity. Always remain 113 or 114% activated, and strapped with your critical thinking beanies, because there's a war out for your minds, and the only way to resist is to be an outlaw. Like always, a clenched fist salute, y venceremos.